Conversations here. We now want to switch gears and talk about matters education. KCSE, which wrapped up about a week ago, is a big discussion. 40 years later, in about 3 years' time, we'll be having the very last cohort of candidates sitting for this exam. It is what we want to focus on this morning, some of the challenges that we've had over the years and the anticipation towards transition to the CBE mode of assessment and what it means, what this kind of examination has meant for us for all this time. To help us have this conversation this morning, we're privileged to have Anne Muchoki, who is the head of Girls Senior School at Kitengela International School. Karibu sana and good morning.
Asante sana.
Yes. So we're finally done with the KCSE 2025.
Thank God.
Is there a conversation you feel we are missing that probably we are not probing enough in as far as KCSE examination is concerned?
KCSE just ended last week, but the 21st, so it's still pretty new. I think the conversation of KCSE surrounds the whole 844 system, right? I call KCSE fighting in the trenches. It is one of the hardest exams you'll ever do in your life, by the way.
Why would you call it that?
24 papers. 844 and the KCSE exam is a truly difficult exam, to be honest. I keep telling my kids, my students, that if you do 844, your reward is going to university, because you will never really face that kind of trauma again. It is intensive, it is many papers in a day, and it's difficult. It's 4 years of content. Imagine 4 years of content that has been put down into a 2.5-hour paper.
Yes.
Inaitangwa pata potea on occasion. Sometimes you don't fail because you don't know, you have not educated. Sometimes you simply fail because what you read did not come. You get? And I think my main issue with it is a summative exam.
It's the most consequential of your entire period in school.
It's a culmination of 15 years of basic education. People don't look at it like that. From the day you stepped into play school, at 2.5 years, if your parents were extra, but from 5 years, KCSE is a culmination of that journey.
How do you think that has affected our society? Because that has been the system for 40 years. Anyone who's 40 years or even above has gone through that system. How has it affected us?
One, which is the reason we are hustler generation. I think having gone through the rigors of 844 and KCSE especially at Form 4, which is, like I said, the culmination, it's a do or die kind of situation. If you do survive it, which many of us do, it gives you a different perspective. If you leave this country and go to what are renowned universities, you are surprised at how easy it is. Because if you're used to something hard and then you go to a different circumstance, and you're like, you expect university to be harder than high school. That is not true for 844 for most courses. We all went through it. University ilikuwa mteremko.
That should probably be a positive from what we've experienced so far. It has not been all doom and gloom.
No. One, the fact that the students who went through 844 are literally learning for the entire world. Is it legal? No. Is it lucrative? Absolutely. I mean, we all know about the academic papers, people writing academic papers. That in itself shows you that 844 is a force to reckon with. The fact that Kenyans are spread anywhere in top management in many countries, it shows you that 844 is something to reckon with. However, that only works. That only works if you pass the system. I think we forget that there are children who are unable to do the system because it is very theoretic. It is very based on you being average and above, and you do have below average students academically, differently abled children. Now, those are the ones that suffer under 844.
And you mentioned the fact that it works if you get it right and if you're successful. That means that there's a huge chunk of people who are products of this that probably have fallen by the wayside because of that system?
Yes. You remember, I think BN removed a song called D Student. Yeah, the D students, we have kind of left them behind in terms of we don't know what to do with them. It is only recently that we started having TVETs and TVET is being pushed. 844, I think the main failing of 844 was the lack of, it's the theory part. It is not a hands-on, practical kind of learning. So if a child is good at woodwork, there are very few opportunities to do so, despite woodwork actually existing in the curriculum. So a child who works with their hands, who's talented in their hands, that is where the talent is, tends to fall on the wayside. And and especially special children. special children. For example, dyslexic children. This is a child who is intelligent, but is only hampered by the fact that you can't read or write, because there's a wiring in your head that the wiring was not right. Okay. And therefore, if they could be able to do oral exams, it's possible that they could get a B or an A. But there's no, you don't have oral exams in KCSE. They just give an extra 30 minutes. Now, if the words are jumping at you on the paper, it doesn't matter that you've been learning for 15 years. You're going to fail KCSE. And that's a summative exams. KCSE stops, like they say, it doesn't stop for anything. It doesn't stop for public holidays, doesn't stop for illness. If you don't do it this year, you have to do it next year.
And that will determine the rest of your life.
And that determines the rest of your life. I mean, I am a teacher, I'm a head of school. For every single interview I've gone for, I've had to present my KCSE certificate. This is the norm.
Yet this was never the intention. I made to understand that 844 initially included quite some practical lessons. Woodwork that you've mentioned, metalwork, mechanical engineering. What happened that now we talk about KCSE as more of a theoretical exam?
Very theoretical. I did the nice KCSE, honestly. I mean, we made chapels.
Oh yeah, I remember the chapels.
Traditional kamisi, embroidery. We made the nyatiti and the drums. It was very involving. I mean, we all did music. I mean, we all remember all cows eat grass, the stuff. Over time, I'll be honest, doing this, it's expensive. It's an expensive venture. Having both been in the public and the private sector, I understand how expensive having this extra. The hands-on is expensive. So over time, we kept shaving it off. And the idea was, let us move towards STEM, but in a very un-STEM-like manner. This is science, technology, engineering, and maths, in a very un-STEM-like manner. Because the whole point of science is observation, experimentation. We culled it down to simply brain work, okay? And I like saying we made it AI, it's just brain work. There's no practical. We for a very long time, biology practicals, the little practical, was a It's not that we are starting to be asked to bring cockroaches. This year we are asked for locusts, thanks, NEC.
As part of the